at that. Good number. Thank you. And I would like to see if there are others who were with me in 1963 that are here today. Anyone else that was at the March on Washington on August 28, 1963? Well, I was there. It was a half century ago, but the memory never fades. I was warned by some of my most liberal Northern Virginia friends, where I lived, not to attend the march that day. There would be violence, they said. It was just too dangerous. But I wouldn't disappoint close friends Belford and Marjorie Lawson and their attorneys, who were courageously practicing law in the elite part of Washington, D.C., one of the few such African-American law firms at the time. And it was a beautiful day. As I remember it, living nearby, we arrived early with thousands of busloads of people from all over the country. Within 18 days, the massacres would continue, and assassinations would mark the 1960s, including Martin's. As I moved closer to the speaker's platform to hear many speeches, all good and some outstanding, Martin Luther King began his. He told us of his dream. I had had dreams, but not so deep and clear. My bigger ones were yet to come. After college, the Army, while a student at Georgetown Law School, I volunteered just a little thing on Election Day 1958 to hand out leaflets for Joe Freehill, a Democratic congressional candidate, to meet the Republican Congressman Roy Hill, who happened to be a segregationist. Joe lost and that dream died. But another was born that day. At the Lincoln Memorial, several years later, when Martin Luther's King dream became our own, and inspired me to become a human rights activist and civil rights attorney that day. First, as a lawyer, I represented in court the first nonviolent civil rights activist to risk civil disobedience to end discriminatory housing in the District of Columbia, inspiring President Kennedy to issue an executive order to that effect, and later other such cases in several states. Next is the state legislature in Virginia to sponsor legislation to end literacy tests, poll tax, school closings, white tuition grants, anti-miscegenation laws. Finally, as an activist, demonstrating for peace and justice for nonviolent civil disobedience, arrested several times against injustice and inequality and for peace, not war, inspired by MLK's 1967 speech that combined all of this together as a true witness. We joined with Ralph Abernathy, Bernard Lafayette, Walter Fauntleroy, Hosea Williams, Rayford Johnson, in and out of jails, courtrooms, and legislatures. And yet much remains to be done. Ending capital punishment, stronger gun safety laws, economic and political inequality must come to an end someday, hopefully in my lifetime. I invite all of us to join in or carry on that dream in memory of that day and of that speech and of that person. And as the work goes on and the cause endures and the hope still lives, Martin's dream shall never die.
Yes.